silent. I hope this video is worth it because I've changed my whole room around. I mean, look at it. And it's taken me a lot of setting up, but hopefully it looks alright. Anyway, hi guys, how are you all doing? Welcome back to another video on my YouTube channel. If you're new here, my name is Scott Edwards. I'm a musician and I make YouTube videos as well. So if they are two things that you are interested in, consider clicking that little subscribe button just down below there and come and be a part of this community. Now, a few weeks ago, you may have seen that me and my dad started our own podcast. That podcast is called All About the Doubt, and it's all about resilience, creativity, mental health, self-doubt, and anything else really. We chat a lot of rubbish as well. So if you want to listen to that podcast, it is all linked down below. You can go and check it out on Spotify, Apple Music, and yeah, let us know what you think of it as well. But when it came to actually starting to record our podcast, we had many options available to us as to how we could record it. Now, one way we were going to do it originally was we were going to use an audio interface. Let me just get mine. We were going to use this. Now, this is a little PreSonus Audio Box i2. It has two mic inputs and a headphone output, and that was the plan. We were going to use that to start recording our podcast. But then we came across something else which seemed to make it a hell of a lot easier. Now, that something else is this, the Rodecaster Pro. And it looks just like that. And it is one of the best pieces of equipment I've ever used to record anything. It's so simple, and that's what this video is about. So we're gonna talk about how me and my dad record our podcast using the Rodecaster Pro. Okay, so let's get into talking about the Rodecaster Pro. I've now got this connected to power, so I'll turn it on in a second. So if you haven't heard of the Rodecaster Pro, the Rodecaster Pro is basically an all-in-one podcast studio. So you have 4 mic inputs, you have a USB input, you can connect a phone to it, you can connect a Bluetooth device to it, and then over here you have different sound pads. And I will get into what all of these different things can be used for. So what we're gonna do, I'm gonna turn it on and I'm going to show you how easy it is to record a podcast, and this is exactly the way that me and my dad do it when we're recording All About the Doubt. So, power button on the back. When it powers on, it looks awesome. I mean, look at that. I don't know how well it comes across on video. I'll try and get some better pictures of it in the dark because it lights up and it looks incredible. But anyway, so the first 4 channels are your mic channels, and you can see on the back here you have 4 mic inputs that correspond to each channel down here. So what you do is you simply take your XLR cable, plug it into the back, and plug it into your mic. Simple as that. Now, the mics me and my dad use are these Rode M1s. We have 3 of these. These are dynamic mics and they can be used for pretty much anything. I use them to perform live when I'm playing live music. I also record my YouTube cover songs with these mics, and yeah, they sound great and they're relatively inexpensive. It's pretty similar to a Shure SM58. So we have 3 of these, and we have these pop shields as well, which just help get rid of the plosives, so the p sounds. So we have this microphone plugged into channel 1 on our Rodecaster, and as you can see over here we have 4 headphone outputs. So what I like to do just to keep everything simple and so we know where everything is going is I will plug the headphones into whichever one someone is using. So I'm using channel 1 for the microphone. I will plug my headphones into output number 1 for the headphones, and so on. If someone's on channel 2, I'll plug theirs into channel number 2. And over here you can see that everyone can have their own little headphone output at their own volume. So if someone likes it a little bit louder, they can choose their own volume. My headphones are now plugged into the corresponding channel. What you then need is 2 different things, or 1 of each, preferably both. You need a little micro SD card. This is just a 32 gig one, and this goes in the little micro SD card slot just there in the back of the Rodecaster. You can see that this little button then turns green once you pop that in, and it's kind of flashing between dark green and light green because it's ready to record. The other option is you can take a USB and plug it into your computer and record straight into GarageBand or Logic or Pro Tools, whichever one you use. And you can record multi-track, which is absolutely incredible. So when you are recording each individual track, so whether it's a microphone, USB, a phone, Bluetooth, the pads, you are recording them all individually as well as together. So if you wanted to go in and create your own mix of your podcast afterwards, you can then choose which ones you want to use. If there's something you wanted to pick out of one channel, you can then boost that and mess around with it as much as you want. And you've just got full creative control by using that multi-track functionality. When me and my dad are recording our podcast, we use an SD card and we plug it straight into my laptop so we can record through Logic as well. And then we've got it in 2 places, so if you do happen to accidentally delete it from somewhere or lose the files or your SD card goes corrupt, you're safe and you've got a backup of it. So that's what we do. We use an SD card and record it into Logic as well. So now we've got everything plugged in. We've got the mic plugged in, headphones, an SD card potentially plugged into your laptop as well to record into whichever software you're using. Now all you need to do is put your headphones on, lift up the mics that you are using on the slider and click the big green record button. And now you can hear me talking through the Rodecaster Pro and it sounds amazing. It sounds so crisp. I've not done any adaptations to this. I've not done any EQs. It's all straight from the Rodecaster Pro. This is how good it sounds straight from the box. All you have to do is plug it in, press record, and you get sound like this. It is incredible. Now the microphone I'm using when I was talking to you before was this, the Rode VideoMic Pro Plus, and it sounds amazing. It sits on top of my camera or on my little boom pole here, and I can rely on it all the time. So when I'm out and about, it sits on my camera, I can vlog with it, I can take it anywhere and get great sounding audio. But when you're in a studio, for example, or you're recording a podcast and you need something that just sounds a little bit crisper, the Rodecaster Pro, you cannot go wrong with it. It is absolutely amazing and it's so easy to use. You saw how easy it was for me to plug in and get sound like this straight away. So when me and my dad are recording our podcast, we do exactly the same, but there's an extra mic plugged in as well because obviously my dad is there to record with me. So we are now recording on the Rodecaster Pro. We then have a USB channel, a phone channel, and a Bluetooth channel. So let me get my phone and I'm going to go to Bluetooth settings and I'm going to click the Bluetooth button on the Rodecaster. So I click that and it's now discoverable. I click Rodecaster on my phone and it's connected. As quick and as simple as that. And now I can play anything through my phone, turn the slider up on the Bluetooth channel, and I can play some music. So there's some music coming through the Rodecaster Pro. It is that easy and it sounds, again, incredible. And this is all recording to the SD card. So I've not got to worry about anything. So I can then fade it out if I wanted to. And you can talk over the top of it, and you can just do whatever you want with it. You can do exactly the same by plugging your phone in. So you would need, if you got an iPhone, you need the adapter, but then you're going to use a TRRS cable. And if you're plugged into a laptop, for example, you can play something off your laptop and you can record it all straight into the Rodecaster. It is that simple. So then over here as well, you have your different sound pads, and these are fully customizable. You can put whatever you want on them. All you have to do is plug it into your laptop and drag the sound onto the pad you want it with the software that's included with the Rodecaster. So again, very simple. So for example, we've programmed our theme tune into this, our different jingles for different parts of our podcast. So if I click this one, this is our main theme tune. Some of you may be familiar with it if you listen to our podcast. Again, this is all recording straight to the SD card, and then you can fade it out, and we like to do our little intro to the podcast just over this and talk about what we're going to talk about on the podcast, and then we slowly fade it out and get into the actual podcast and what we are doing on the podcast. And we don't have our guests at all. We've got different sounds on here. And again, fully customizable. You can do whatever you want with them. use them to separate different parts of our sections. So yeah, if you listen to our podcast, you will be familiar with all of these. This is a fan favourite. What would Mr. Whitfield do? If you don't know who Mr. Whitfield is, go and listen to the podcast. You will find out. And let me know who your Mr. Whitfield is, because I am interested to know. So yeah, go and listen to the podcast. It's all linked down below. Give us a follow on Instagram as well. And yeah, just get in touch. Enjoy the podcast. Let us know what you think. So that is what the Rodecaster Pro sounds like. That is how easy it is to record with the Rodecaster Pro. So what I will do now is I will switch back over to the Rode VideoMic Pro Plus, just so you can hear the sound difference. I will keep this recording. So this is the sound on the Rode VideoMic Pro Plus, and that again is just here above my head, hanging on this little boom pole, and I'm going to knock over my whole desk if I'm not careful. I can't keep this out of shot when I move it. I'm going to have to just leave it there. But anyway, this is the Rode VideoMic Pro Plus. It sounds great. This is probably about that far from my mouth, so not very far at all. And yeah, you can rely on it all the time. But again, if I switch back over to the Rode Video, if I switch back over to the Rode, forgotten what it's called. What's it called? The Rodecaster. If I switch back over to the Rodecaster, you can hear the sound difference. So you know you're going to get great sound straight from this, and it's all recorded straight to the SD card. So what me and my dad do then is we take it from the SD card and we pretty much just upload that file straight to Anchor. Anchor is the site we use to distribute our podcast. So we literally drag and drop that file into Anchor and then click upload, and that is it. That is podcast done, recorded and distributed, all within about 2 hours, because our podcast is about 2 hours long. It's not 2 hours long. Our podcast is about an hour long. About 2 hours later, it's all distributed and ready for Sunday mornings at 8 o'clock when it goes live. We record them on a Friday. So yeah, very, very simple. I'm going to switch back over to the Rode VideoMic Pro Plus just for this little bit. So one last very, very cool feature on the Rodecaster Pro, and this is the main reason we bought this. So when we first started our podcast, we knew we wanted to have guests, and to have guests at this time sat around the table is quite difficult with obviously social distancing and all of that. So we had to think of another way to be able to get guests, and the only other way we could do that is by getting people to call in. And we couldn't do that with the audio interface that we were going to be using. So this is why we bought this Rodecaster, and it makes this so easy. Once you have connected your phone by Bluetooth or the TRRS cable, you can then call people and record that call straight into the Rodecaster. You cannot do that on the audio interface. There is no Bluetooth on an audio interface. There is no phone input on an audio interface. All it is either 2 guitar instrument cables or 2 microphones. It's like a joint adapter thing. So you're very limited as to what you can do with that. You can only have 2 mic inputs. With this, we've got the 4 mic inputs, so we can have people sat around the table, but we can also call people. And I'm going to demonstrate now and hope my dad picks up the phone. So I'm going to switch back over to the Rodecaster, and because I am already connected to Bluetooth, I'm going to call my dad. Calling my dad. He's not going to answer.
Hello, this is Rob. I'm afraid I can't.
He never answers his phone. I'll try him again in a minute. I'm going to text him actually and tell him to answer your phone. He never answers his phone when I need him. So, yeah. But anyway, I think that demonstrates how easy it is to record a phone call. And it sounds amazing because a lot of the time when you are recording a phone call, you're going to get interference and delays. But this has got a plus minus functionality. So you can literally click call and everything is done for you. You don't need to worry about anything and you're going to get a great signal. Shall we try calling him again? So you can hear there how clear even just the phone call sounds. This is all by Bluetooth.
Hello, this is Rob.
Nope.
I'm afraid I can't.
Well, he's not answering his phone, but that is as easy as it is to record a phone call. That you've not. I don't know what to do now because he's kind of stumped me. I was hoping he would answer the phone.
Hello, this is Rob. I'm afraid I can't take your call right now, but please do leave me a message and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Thank you.
Please leave your message after the tone.
Message.
To re-record your message, press hash at any time.
Hello, I'm calling you on the Rodecaster, recording a video, trying to prove how easy it is to call people through the Rodecaster, but you didn't answer your phone, so bye. I don't know where he is, but I left him a message, and you can see how easy it is to record that phone call through the Rodecaster. Dead easy. And that again is the main reason as to why we bought the Rodecaster, or my dad bought the Rodecaster. It kind of shocked me because I was expecting him to record the whole podcast through that little audio interface, and we were just going to do a little bit of editing to it, a bit of EQing to try and get decent sound. But then my dad called me up one day and said he'd bought the Rodecaster after I showed it to him. So yeah, great little piece of kit. I'm going to switch back over to the Rode VideoMic Pro Plus. Back on the Rode VideoMic Pro Plus, I'm going to stop this recording just by clicking that big red button. The green button turns red when you are recording, so you know when you are stopping it. And that is it. Everything is recorded now. You can take out your SD card if I can find it. Take out your SD card, micro SD card, plug it into your computer, drag the file over and distribute it however you want to distribute it. If you use Anchor, you can use Anchor. There's loads of others as well. So yeah, the choices are pretty much endless. It is that simple. If you're starting a podcast, I hope this has given you an idea of how easy the Rodecaster is to use. If you are thinking of buying one, I would highly recommend it. Get some cheap little mics as well. I think these are about 50 quid. So great little mics. You can get Rode pod mics as well. One last thing, this touchscreen, the whole menu functionality is so easy to use. So I'm going to move this camera around so I can show you. So you can see here, this is the main screen, and you can then go into settings. You can click which mic. So I'm on mic 1. You can then choose the microphone. So there's a load of different Rode presets that are in there. I've clicked on a dynamic mic because this is a dynamic mic that I'm using, but it's not already a preset in there. But you click dynamic mic, that's the only EQ setting I've done. You can then, if you need to increase your levels, you can increase your level, and you can change other audio processing. So there's compressors, high pass filters, all of that sort of stuff. And you can change the type of voice that you've got. So if you've got a deeper voice, select all of those settings. And yeah, it's an amazing piece of kit. So I would highly recommend it. If you are thinking of starting a podcast, you can use it for live stuff, as I mentioned before, if you are doing public speaking. And yeah, it sounds great. Possibilities are endless. I've even seen people recording guitar through it, which is pretty amazing. So yeah, great little piece of kit. You can do pretty much whatever you want with it. So that's it for this video. Go and listen to our podcast. It's called All About the DAO. It's all linked down below. Go and let us know what you think of it. Let us know who your Mr. Whitfield is and what he looks like. I know if you not listen to the podcast, that will not make sense at all. But if you go and listen to it, it will make sense. So yeah, that is it for this video. That is the Rodecaster Pro. I hope I have helped you out if you are thinking of starting a podcast or buying the Rodecaster Pro. Go and get it if you can afford it. Yeah, I shall see you all very soon in another video.